A sprint is the most fundamental component of an agile project management procedure. Even though the phrase has many different definitions, everyone agrees that an effective sprint is well planned, short, and has a single defined result. Or even a delivery. Sprints have their roots in software development, of course, where a final product is a result of several brief iterations. Additionally, most of the nomenclature hasn't changed, even though the concept has now acquired popularity in so many other industries and enterprises. For instance, a product backlog is included in basically all sprints planning guides. It's best to think of this as a list of items or even chores that still need to be done if you're not creating a revolutionary new app. And every sprint strategy starts there. Establishing a sprint objective. As the name implies, the sprint aim is the intended outcome to be attained at the conclusion of a sprint. All participants in the sprint, including the product owner, Scrum Master, and even Scrum team, debate and negotiate these objectives. It is highly crucial to establish an achievable target when creating a sprint goal plan. A clear strategy outlining how this objective is to be accomplished must also be developed by all parties involved. The sprint target is determined during these two sections of a normal sprint planning meeting. Perspective plans with new videos and podcasts weekly. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/perspective plans for exclusive videos and more. Visit perspectiveplans.com for all of your planner and stationery needs. Only at Perspective Plans, helping you plan for what's to come. Hello, I'm Christina B. Rising, and welcome to the Perspective Plan Show, where I help you boost your productivity and stay organized to help you handle whatever life throws at you. Don't forget to subscribe for new videos and podcasts every single week. You can also shop for workbooks, printables, and stickers at perspectiveplans.com. Thank you to our Patreons and channel members for supporting this episode. Now let's get into this episode. Tip 1. Arrange narratives into tasks. Many people find that converting tales into tasks helps them estimate how long they would need to finish them. To convey the true objective, the tasks must be divided into meaningful activities. The duties must be laid out in such a way that it is simple to mark off the things that need to be finished. Dividing tales into tasks improves team attention and responsibility while also assisting with estimating. Team members can operate more productively and with a feeling of direction when they are given clear, doable assignments. Furthermore, smaller, clearly defined tasks allow the early identification of dependencies or bottlenecks, guaranteeing that such problems are resolved before they impede development. Tip 2. Why is it necessary to have a sprint planning meeting? The tone for all the work completed in a given sprint is established at sprint planning sessions to guarantee the timely delivery of all final products. These sessions contextualize the work of previous sprints in relation to upcoming ones. They also clearly communicate to all parties concerned the standards for the finished product and the methods that will be used to meet them, because they bring the team together around common objectives and priorities for the sprint. Sprint planning sessions are highly crucial. These sessions assist in efficiently allocating resources, identifying any bottlenecks, and guaranteeing that everyone is aware of their roles and duties for decomposing complicated projects into simple tasks. This cooperative strategy reduces misunderstandings and promotes responsibility, layering the groundwork for an efficient and concentrated sprint. Book 3. Modify your user stories. A fantastic method to see your project from the viewpoint of the anticipated end user and the challenges they could have when using your product is to groom your user stories and, of course, your backlog. Your user stories will stay current and in line with your project's changing requirements if you keep them updated. As you improve them, think about adding input from actual users or even stakeholders to gain a deeper understanding of their expectations and even their concerns. Re-examining user stories on a regular basis keeps your team focused on fixing the most important end-user pain points and helps you stay clear about the value your product offers. Divide user stories into manageable, smaller activities that complement your project's objectives as you update them. This method guarantees that your team can advance steadily while retaining flexibility, in addition to making it simpler to prioritize the tails. Don't be afraid to go over acceptance criteria again, because they can assist in determining whether a narrative is really finished and guarantee a smooth user experience that successfully resolves the issues that have been discovered. Tip 4. Utilize data from earlier sprints. Feedback from earlier sprints can assist a team in repeating and avoiding prior errors for more seamless and fluid development if this is not the first sprint in the process. Here, the previous sprint reviews and sprint retrospectives are quite helpful. The team can see trends and improve their strategy for dealing with comparable problems in the future by drawing on their learning from previous sprints. To solve bottlenecks, this might entail redistributing resources, optimizing workflows, or changing the order of tasks. Teams may increase their efficiency and confidence in their capacity to produce better outcomes with each sprint by adopting a mentality of continuous improvement. Tip 5, involve the team. Unhappy teams that feel left out of the planning process are typically the cause of dysfunctional sprint meetings. At this point, the Scrum Master needs to intervene and use their power to engage every team member and their skill sets in a way that benefits both parties. A successful sprint requires a sense of ownership and accountability, which is fostered by an active team engagement. Team members are more likely to offer insightful comments and creative ideas when they believe their knowledge and viewpoints are actually respected. In addition to fostering trust, promoting candid communication during planning meetings guarantees that the sprint plan is practical and in line with the team's capabilities, which eventually opens the door to more efficient execution and improved morale. Tip 6, effectively schedule your meetings. For a month-long sprint, limit your planning sessions to about 8 hours, spread across 30 days. You should modify the time for shorter ones appropriately. Here, the team as a whole pledges to carry out their assigned tasks in order to produce the final product that will be offered for sale. Selecting the ideal time is just as important to effective timing as duration. Ideally, sprint planning meetings should take place at the beginning of the workday or shortly after a brief break when the team is alert and, of course, concentrated. This eliminates the wariness that might result from an end-of-day meeting and guarantees that everyone can actively participate and have important conversations and contribute to clear, workable ideas. Tip 7, evaluate the story points realistically. Story points are imprecise assessments of how challenging it will be to implement a certain user story based on the makeup of your Scrum team. This may also be used to measure your velocity. Story point estimates should be approached from a balanced standpoint to avoid being skewed by either too cautious or even overly optimistic thinking. Take into account elements such as the team's prior success on related jobs, possible hazards, and even technological complexity. A realistic roadmap that appropriately represents your team's capabilities is produced by coordinating story points with these factors, which promotes clarity and confidence for the upcoming sprint. Tip 8, clearly state what constitutes done for the project. To achieve this, all three components of a sprint planning meeting must collaborate to identify the precise requirements that must be fulfilled for the sprint to actually succeed. Assuring that there is no room for doubt regarding completion requirements, a precise definition of done allows all team members to coordinate their efforts and expectations. In addition to technical requirements, these specifications have to include quality standards, testing, documentation, and any other deliverables. This clarity lowers the likelihood of work being repeated or even wasted by avoiding needless revisions and misunderstandings. To ensure that everyone is held to the same high standards and is aware of when a job or user story is actually finished, it is imperative that these criteria be documented and shared. If you have tried bullet journaling, time blocking, or just plain old to-do lists but haven't found the right solution to manage your time, then it's time to try out the Hourly Planner Bundle. This is the ultimate planner with everything you need to manage your schedule and get things done today. Featuring 300 plus planner pages with and without sidebars, 100 plus event and holiday labels, and over 2,000 plus planner stickers in 14 unique colors. All this and more can be found in our Hourly Planner Bundle, available in 2 amazing color options at perspectiveplans.com. Paperback edition, now available at Amazon. Helping you plan for what's to come. Tip 9, make sure to include all acronyms at the beginning of all of your documents. This is a little known but really helpful method for cutting down on meeting time by avoiding having to repeat any information if some of your team members don't exactly understand certain references. It's a good idea to include a glossary or even a reference list in your documents to further facilitate communication, especially when acronyms or even technical terminology are used regularly. This minimizes misunderstandings and guarantees that everyone is in agreement, but making it simple for both new and current team members to become acquainted with any lingo you are using. Having a fast reference guide may boost team productivity and save crucial time during sprint planning sessions. Tip 10, verify your team's availability. When team members are missing for large chunks of the sprint due to the impending holiday seasons, this point is particularly pertinent. Planning ahead of time for your team's availability is essential to keeping things moving forward and preventing delays. This entails allocating responsibilities to cover absences, establishing reasonable objectives, and making sure that crucial deadlines can be met with the fewer employees. Transparency is ensured, and last-minute surprises that might impede the sprint's development are avoided by proactive availability communication. The importance of sprint planning. In carpentry, the saying "measure twice, cut once" is employed. The goal is to steer clear of expensive errors. This also applies to sprint planning. Your sprint has the highest chance of success if you give the planning phase enough time. The general norm is 1 or 2 hours every week of the scheduled sprint, up to a maximum of 1 full day, depending on the industry or even discipline for which the sprint is actually needed. The most crucial lesson, though, is probably that you must have a strategy in place for your sprint planning. So here are a few sprint planning meeting difficulties. As you may see from the preceding sections, even novices and experts may find it difficult and intimidating to navigate the world of Scrum projects. So there are Agile and even Scrum Foundation courses if you need assistance in this area. And even guides for people who want a more comprehensive understanding of the many kinds of Agile approaches. After learning about Agile and even Scrum projects, one of the next things is, of course, a certified Agile practitioner, which has to know how to organize events like daily scrums and even sprint planning meetings, the principles of sprint planning meetings and how they relate to a sprint. Share this awesome episode with someone you know who needs it to help them plan for what's to come. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I hate for you to miss the next episode. Now let's get into our recap. So let's do a quick recap just in case you missed a tip on our list. Tip 1, arrange narratives into tasks. Tip 2, why is it necessary to have a sprint planning meeting? Tip 3, modify your user stories. Tip 4, utilize data from earlier sprints. Tip 5, involve the team. Tip 6, effectively schedule your meetings. Tip 7, evaluate the story points realistically. Tip 8, clearly state what constitutes done for the project. Tip 9, make sure to include all acronyms at the beginning of your documents. Tip 10, verify your team's availability. I just want to take a moment to thank our patrons and channel members. This episode would not be possible without your support. Thank you. And if you would like to support the show, visit patreon.com/perspectiveplans today. Thank you so much for stopping by and pressing play. I truly appreciate it. Let me know down below in the comments or your podcast review what tip you'll be using. Keep planning for what's to come, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.